Welcome to the Video Studio at Fayetteville Public Library's Center for Innovation. If you are using one of our wired lapel mics, remember to add length to the cable by plugging it into an XLR cable found in the left-hand cabinet. Remember that the pronged end of a cable sends information out, and the other end with the holes receives information. In this case, you are passing information from the mic to the XLR cable. There are 6 black panels in the Video Studio, each labeled with a letter. Each has 4 XLR inputs for audio and 2 SDI inputs for video. Given that we're using an XLR cable, we want to plug into an XLR input, paying attention to the number above the input. To release the cable, press and hold the button to the left of the input, which loosens the cable and allows you to remove the cable. But we're only halfway through this tutorial, so we're plugging it back in. Microphones can be plugged into whichever panel is most conveniently located for the length of your cable. On the audio console in the control room, each fader is labeled with the letter of the panel followed by the number of the input, such as C1 and C2. Select the channel you want to work with by pushing the green Cell button. Touch the top section of the summary of your channel. Because both the lapel mics and the boom mics in this studio are condenser mics, we must first turn on phantom power, provided the channel is muted and/or turned all the way down. Slowly bring up the fader until the top of the mic level shown on the right side of the screen just touches the yellow area. If you have a very quiet talker on your hands, you may need to turn up the gain or the sensitivity of the microphone, either by adjusting the red preamp knob on the top left corner, or by selecting gain on the screen and adjusting the knob at the bottom right corner of the screen, which corresponds to whatever you have selected on the screen. Repeat the process for any microphones you use. If you are not hearing anything but seeing levels, make sure the master fader on the far right is turned up to 0 and unmuted. This fader controls the volume of the entire mix in your recording. If you want to hear sound out of the speakers, go to layer E on the bottom left of the console. The first fader is labeled Main LR, which corresponds to the master fader. The second fader is labeled Mains, which is the volume of the speakers. So as you can imagine, it must be unmuted and turned up. This does not interfere with the mix or volume of the recording. To power off the console, click the processing button at the bottom left of the screen, then click it again to return to the main menu. Touch the Shut Down button, then Yes, and wait for the screen to show that it is safe to turn off the console. Then go to the back of the console and push the power button. Happy producing!